Good morning and welcome to another Foster and Marshall podcast where we ask the all-important questions and want to know the answers why. And today we've got a couple of topics. I'm going to let Marshall kick off first of all with the one of our necessary elements.
Now, I might have just taken off on one here, Foster, so forgive me. But I just want to say hello to everyone and hope you're all enjoying the sun, because the sun is health giving and it's giving you vitamin D and vitamin D3. And there are 1,000 genes that are being activated in our body. That's a scientific fact. So I'm sure, and also I do want to say, mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun, and unfortunately, I don't know what it is, whether it's in the water, because we know what goes in the water now, don't we, Foster? People
Yeah.
are not realising you have to be sensible. Early morning sun or the late afternoon sun, but the midday, getting out there, I know, in a full-blown heat of the sun is not good. If you watch nature, you'll see all the wild birds, they all go because they're having a siesta out of the sun. It's here, it's happening, isn't it, Foster?
Absolutely. I think the thing is, Marshall, when we were younger, we were taught that phase,
Yeah,
although it was something that was, amusing at the time, we were actually taught not to go out in the midday sun and that we should actually just sort of be out of it at lunchtime and be the same as they are in the Mediterranean, where they do have those
absolutely.
siestas. I do think if we are going to continue to have this kind of weather, because the
I hope we
planet is
do.
changes. Oh, I do too, because everything you said about vitamin D is absolutely correct. And it's absolutely essential that we get that vitamin D
You
through the
you can't
melanin
get
in our
it
skin.
from
And
supplements. That's a fact.
sorry.
You can't get all these effects that I've just said from just supplements, Foster.
No, you can't. You can't. I mean, you can bring that into your nutrition, and one of those things is mushrooms that's packed with vitamin
Yeah,
D, but
yeah.
there is nothing like vitamin D being manufactured in the melanin in your skin. So absolutely. And I think that I don't know. I do wonder what's in the water. There seems to be
Coming down,
a
fluoride.
deficiency. I'm going to use the word a deficiency. So we could all be vitamin deficient and we can all be deficient in one way or another. But the biggest deficiency that is affecting people on this island is the deficiency of common sense. What
Absolutely,
has
100%.
happened to fundamental common
Yeah,
sense?
yeah.
And I actually think when you've got a long-term weather forecast that tells you that you're going to be hitting 30-degree plus temperatures, it's down to people who run certain businesses to say to their staff, we're closing between 12 and 2.
Such and such, yeah.
Yeah, and we're actually adopting a Mediterranean approach while this heat wave
Yeah,
is
because you
running
see
through.
staff struggling. I have. If you
Absolutely.
go out and have lunch, they're struggling. They're not happy, and you're not going to get a good service because they're literally worn. The sun, it's so powerful, the midday sun, that you're made to rest, actually. It's making you try to rest by
Absolutely.
the effects of it. And
Yeah,
you're fighting against natural elements. It's like a huge wind, isn't it? You
absolutely.
can't fight it. You've just got to get out of it.
You have got to actually adapt and change to your present circumstances. You cannot just go, well, actually, we all have to work from 9 to 5 because the contract says so. Yes, there is a contract, but sometimes let's
Well, it's got
sit
to be
down
flexible.
as a workforce and say, what would work for you? what would, you can either come in an hour earlier and leave an hour earlier, but to make up for that 2 hour lunch break.
Yeah, yeah,
It in a lot of places it's just an hour lunch, and most
yeah,
factories
yeah,
or shops or anything.
yeah.
But let's just shut down for two hours.
You're right, 100%, Foster. It's sense and sensibility with
Yeah,
everything, and
yeah,
human beings should be flexible.
absolutely. And you see, if we weren't under the current laws and legislations, we would naturally do that. We would naturally follow the cycles of what was going on around us. If it's pouring with rain
The
and
natural
blowing,
world. Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
because we are part of that. We are part of the natural process. We're born of the earth, on the earth, and should be allowed to correspond with the way everything flows upon the planet. Not told, no, you
yeah.
can't have a 2 hour lunch break because the contract says. No, actually, we as people say, I do think there needs to be a change to adapt and change wherever possible. You might be able to tell I'm struggling a little bit with my voice, and I think this has really gone round so many people up and down the country where we've all
Well, it
had
wasn't
this
long ago,
throat.
was it, Foster? I
Yeah,
was struggling.
absolutely. And we've all come
And I
down with
like
this
to
kind of.
share with my sister things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really grateful for not having a voice and having a tickly throat. No, but it doesn't matter where you go, what you do, you're going to get it, aren't you? Because that's the way of the world. We integrate with one another, so we are going to share everything. But I'm in total agreement with you, Marshall. But for me, the main deficiency at the moment with the human being, especially on this island, is a lack of common sense. Everyone
Yeah,
seems to have forgotten.
yeah.
Oh, are they just not being taught? Are we just not being taught
No,
how to be
I think in
sensible?
schools, I don't think they're really teaching children now. They certainly aren't about nature.
No.
They've come away from the natural world, haven't they? Like having a little vegetable patch at schools and things like this. They took away all the sports, didn't they, for your
Yep.
body, moving your body,
Yep.
and the children and the young adults, they need that more than ever now, especially with tech. And my advice to any of you young people out there caring to listen, believe you me, older and wiser, too right, but you need to move your body because you're going to get stagnant. Your lymph will stagnate in your body and your brain will stop working properly. And you'll have to rely on tech even more then. And it's the brain that's the most powerful, not your computers. It's just that we've all been dumbed down from that, dumbed down from using our brains properly. And of course, we're living in a stressful world now, aren't we? So we've got dodgy water. So, it's up to everyone. Get a decent filter. And I'm going to always say that. And I don't mean those plastic things in the
No,
supermarket.
you need a proper.
You need to go on Amazon and look up proper stainless steel countertop filters.
Yeah,
And you
absolutely.
really, really do because they filter out. And you want to keep your penile gland.
Which is
I had a
centered
bit of
here,
difficulty saying that then, but the pineal gland, yeah, I'm going,
which is
yeah,
connected with
thank
the
you,
third
Foster.
eye. Yeah, third
Yeah,
eye.
yeah,
And
your
that is
intuition,
activated by sunlight. Absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah.
Activated by sunlight. So that's another
And
reason
we've got
why.
crystals, it's in a fluid and it's crystallized inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And your brain needs water. That's another thing. In order to keep your brain healthy, you need to drink proper water. And you can really taste the difference, can't you, Foster, in a glass of water from the tap and the
Mm,
water from your filter once it's gone through. It's
absolutely. And
brilliant
I and
because
I
it's on tap.
confess Yeah, I confess that I didn't buy my big Newton water filter until the end of last year. And what a difference that water filter has made.
Yeah,
I actually couldn't drink cold tap water. It used to make me feel queasy, and I used to go, no,
yeah,
don't like cold water. But what I will say is, I can easily take a glass, take it under my Newton, pour out a glass, and it's got a nicer flavour. It's natural.
but
All that chlorine and all of those chemicals have been removed from the
absolutely.
water, and you're getting the closest you could get to proper well water. And that's the subject we're going
Exactly.
to come on to later on, isn't it, Marshall? We're going to be covering
Yeah,
that
100%.
in greater depth. Pardon the pun.
The wells were
But
taken out in 1975. Chris Tarrant was down in, well, it's where Jeremy Clarkson is actually.
Oxfordshire,
He was down there. It was the last well to be capped.
yeah,
Terrible.
Oxfordshire, and
Terrible.
they were really unhappy about the whole process of that.
And it was free. It was free. And everyone should have free water. It comes from the sky. We're on, we've been, we're
I
on
think we've
a,
been
what's the name,
duped.
aren't we?
I think we've been duped, and I think that
Good word.
I just feel that the more I'm looking at things and the
Yeah,
more I'm seeing what is actually taking place,
going
the
on,
more I
yeah.
realise we have been totally and utterly duped and hoodwinked by,
Hoodwinked and duped. Love it.
yeah, because we were led to believe that what we were paying for on a monthly basis was keeping that water clean and fresh,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
our
As though
sewage
yeah. As though well water was dirty, and it wasn't. It's
the purest you're ever going to get.
exactly.
It's the purest you're ever going to get. And if anyone wants to argue about that, we would not be here as a human race if that water was anything other than pure, because
Absolutely, 100%.
we would
Duped and
not have
hoodwinked.
we would not have survived
No,
to be
duped
here
and
today.
hoodwinked.
Absolutely. And it's really sad, that we
When we're
have
all
gone down
paying
that process.
monthly.
Yeah, through the
Sorry.
nose.
Yeah, yeah. Literally, everyone in this country is paying for dirty, stinking water filled with forever chemicals and raw sewage.
Well, they're certainly not dealing with the sewage, are they? We know that from
No,
Dirty Business. This has been discussed before. And I'm in total agreement with you, Marshall. We need to keep reminding people of the work that those two guys did with that program. And it
oh,
keeps getting hidden. You see, we keep getting
you see,
hidden.
yeah, that's why it's good that we're reminding everyone, because it does. It's swept under the carpet. But you know what? Eventually, the carpet gets a great big lump, like a mountain in it, and you end up tripping over on it and breaking your neck.
Absolutely. Well, I wonder if that's the plan. You know, it's this whole complete um, kind of wearing you down where you become, oh, yeah, there's a master plan, all right. But it's like you're being worn down. You're it's this constant brick wall that you feel like you're knocking your head up against. And I know how it feels. I think if you're a single individual and you're sitting there thinking, I'm not happy about this, I'm not happy about the way this is going, you know, it is about standing up. And I do think that there has to be a level of people now coming together and saying, we're not happy with this anymore. It is literally one man stands up and he says, I've got something to say. And then another man stands up and says, so do I. So I think it's really important that we literally stand up and speak for what is right for us. what is absolutely right for us. Let's think carefully about how we'd like to change, what we'd like to change, and how we can make a difference. I think we now have to put everything under the microscope as people, all of the people of this
Everybody
country.
in this country,
Yeah, absolutely. We now need to put all
Yeah.
of this under the and start questioning, which is why we're doing this podcast, really, because we're like, okay, what actually is going on here?
because
Yep, sorry, Marshall. It's because we see these programs, brilliant programs, lots of work gone into it, great TV viewing, and then it all goes silent. Now, where we are in the southwest, and I know you're aware of this, Marshall, too, you know, the surfers along the southwest have been going on and on and on
absolutely,
about
yeah,
the release of sewage into the sea
Yeah.
for a very long time, and some of those have been taken poorly. And
Yeah.
you know, in the half term, in the last half term summer holiday, in the holidays, there were children that were taken seriously ill when they were down by the local rivers. And
Yeah.
you know, it's where they've been pouring sewage into the rivers and the streams. And those are the very rivers that used to be water for livestock. And even
Yeah.
where we could, you know, some of them you could drink from if it was
Absolutely.
right up in the hills. So, yeah, it's a shit show. I can't put it any other way. It really is a shit show. And the other thing is, the last laugh is on us because we all pay for it.
Yeah.
And we
It's
accept
crazy.
it.
Crazy. There needs to be a massive, unity between us all and say, no, enough's enough.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just
Not paying you any more money. We're going to collect our own water and filter it.
absolutely. And yeah, we'll just go down to the local stream, find a local water source, and, you know,
Test
filter
it.
our own.
Test it. We
Yeah.
can get testers.
Yeah, you can get testing kits, can't you? So,
Yeah. It's a lot like Nikola Tesla, who invented free energy for everyone in the world. And there are some great people that are making the coils from some of his, but unfortunately not all. But they've managed to figure out some of it and putting it on their roof for free energy. Free
yeah, I
electric.
think they are testing all of these things out. I mean, I know that
Copper.
they do use Tesla coils.
I wondered what you were going to say then.
I know, don't. Yeah, there's the thought. Yeah, they do use these Tesla coils. I think that there's a lot more that we could be doing to enhance, you know, harness free energy. Well, it is all free. The thing is, the earth manufactures all this stuff for free. I must admit,
Yeah.
where oil's
And that
concerned,
includes oil. That includes oil and water. It's forever. It comes from the inner earth, and that is a
right,
scientific
the only one I think needs now there's two types of oil, okay, that come out of the earth. There is the purest kind, which doesn't need any if you like, any filtration. So it's literally comes out of the ground and you could use it. And then there is another where it needs that refinery. Now, that's the only thing that
Yeah, but
comes
it's
up
not
out
gonna
of
run
the
out.
earth.
Yeah,
Oh
it's not
God,
gonna run
no.
out.
No, anyone out there who thinks, oh
We've all
God,
been
they've
had.
lost the plot, they don't know what they're talking about. Sorry,
Yeah,
people.
we do. It's science.
We do.
It's science
Because
now.
it is science and it's called geology. And if you study geology and
Absolutely.
you're very sensible and you listen to the right geologists,
Yeah.
you will
Look-
learn.
Look at their paymaster.
Absolutely. Somebody who's independent. In actual fact, if I was you, forget all the modern books, go for the older books on geology.
Absolutely.
And you will
Absolutely. And that
learn
goes with the medical
truth.
as well.
Absolutely. And you will learn the truth.
Lots. Yeah.
Because Everything is written on the ground that you walk in. Every
Absolutely.
single level
Absolutely.
tells a story about Earth evolution and how everything
Body,
is
the mind,
managed.
body and spirit. Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's all there. It's all there. And you
Go
will
and get
learn.
yourself those old books, go into some old bookshops, have a hunt around, you'll find
Absolutely.
it, honestly, it's heaven. It is, to me, it's heaven, because it's refreshing, because it's true and it's real.
It's
Now,
not
you can
watered
go on to
down.
AI, which I've done, and I think, and hang about, that's not right.
Yep.
So don't think going on to AI, you're going to get all the facts, because you're not. Because
No.
it's who's putting it in.
Yeah.
It's who's putting it in. It's the computer says.
Yep. It really is. The earth is a cauldron and it's constantly turning. And yes, you can open up one mine, you can open up one oil refinery, but if you move around, it's there. And it will last for thousands. It's actually, it will be there for eternity. All the while the earth is here, that will be manufactured.
And imagine, Foster, what is on other planets. You know, I find it so fascinating. It's beautiful and lovely. And I love the planet Earth. I absolutely adore it. And I believe the whole of this Earth is Atlantean. I believe that 100%.
Yeah. It's rich. It's rich and abundant. What we've done is kind of boxed in, and then we're being fed and misled.
Well, it's what they're doing to the earth, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, they're ruining it by terrible, terrible deeds, aren't they? You know.
Yeah, because it's not about even conserving. You know, they're over
cutting down all the rainforests.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like over farming a specific area instead of how farming used to be, where you'd have a fallow and you'd leave it and you'd let it grow back and everything was done. And it's about, you know, I think
with Mother Earth,
absolutely, it's about working with nature, not against it.
And some of these things are done deliberate. I mean, who in their right mind? And if you haven't seen it, once again, we both, Foster and I, will say, go and watch Dirty Business. And it was on BBC iPlayer, wasn't it, Foster?
Yeah, it's on Channel 4. It's Channel 4. And if you go on the iPlayer, you know, or what do we call it? Where it's all pre-recorded. You know, it's all recorded and it's there. It's Channel 4 it was on.
But watch it and watch the young girl done up to the nines, all looking absolutely glam. And
going into a shithole.
Really was. Dilapidated paint on the walls. And there is another chap that we haven't spoken about in this, who is the whistleblower, who worked there. And he just couldn't stand it anymore, could he, Foster? Seeing what they were doing.
No, he couldn't believe it.
And pouring all the raw sewage into the rivers. And what they would do is they would wait, wouldn't they, until that we had lots of rain. That was the main thing. That was his orders. Wait till there's lots of rain and pour all the sewage into the rivers. It is horrendous. And don't think they've stopped, because they haven't. Because I think they think that us people we're so stressed about everyday living that we're going to forget about it all. But I'm afraid we can't, can we, Foster? We can't. We're not going to forget about it all, and we're always going to be, until it's all changed.
Until somebody actually wakes up and smells the coffee, I think we're going to keep going. And I think we're going to keep mentioning it, because we cannot allow it to be shoved under the carpet, because it is still going on, obviously. Definitely down here. So if it's going on down here, it's going on in a river.
It's not.
Or in a coastline near you.
It's going on all over the country.
Yeah,
it really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but there's been something about poor old Tunbridge Wells. They've been without water for for a long time. There's something going on in Tunbridge Wells with regards to their water. Now, again, there they are paying for something that they can't
Yeah.
even get.
Do they get
There's been a real
rebates? They
water
get their money
shortage.
back? Doubt
Probably
it.
not. Oh, we'll reduce your bills. But yeah, you
No.
shouldn't even be paying for
Yeah.
something you can't have, you know.
No.
There's so
And
much.
that's the same with the oil prices. They do all this.
Oh,
It's like we're being played. We are all being played by these people. It is ludicrous. There is no shortage of oil. And I don't care what's going on the planet. We've got our own oil base here in England, and they
called the
don't want to
North
use
Sea.
it.
It's
Yeah,
the North Sea.
exactly.
Do you know that right?
What else
so
do we get from the north?
I can't answer that at the moment. I wanted to immediately.
Sorry.
I nearly said it. It was going to
Okay.
come out.
Now, we're laughing because
It's not funny. It's actually serious.
something has come
What have
from
we
the
got
north,
from? We've actually got a knob from the north.
and it's not the north wind.
No, it's a knob from
Although-
the north, and it's now behind the doors of number 10.
So there we are.
It's a big knob.
And the thing is, it's all unelected, and that's what makes me angry.
Everything now. Everything we are seeing.
Who's decided all this? That it's all unelected
there we are.
dictators?
We'll just lay back and we'll let the knob from the north, along with a load of other knobs from the north, come in. Now, I don't actually have a problem with people from the north, not at all, actually.
No,
But
we're not
we are
talking
talking
about
about-
northern people. I love
No,
them. So
No, so do I.
I'm
They are
talking
really,
about
really
this
friendly.
is-
They are
Yeah.
actually. Everybody I've ever met
Oh,
from the north
yeah,
have been absolutely
absolutely.
lovely.
Yeah. So
But
let's
what
get
we
that
have
straight,
now-
because we don't want that used against it, because they'll use anything like the race.
Yeah,
cars and all
absolutely.
the rest
Because
of it.
again, it's let's try and drive one part of the
Yeah,
country against the
yeah.
other, and that's not my intention. It's
Basically,
just it
they
did
just
make
want
me
us all to
laugh.
shut up.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard that, it did make me laugh.
Yeah.
Because the other one's father was a tool maker, and didn't he make a tool? So anyone will understand what I'm saying. This is where my Transport Cafe
He
background
is
comes
actually
in.
going to go down in history as the worst prime minister so far we've ever had.
I think this one's going to come in a close second.
I do.
I really
think-
do.
Yeah. But
I
what's happened to this free country we're supposed to be in? All those millions of young men, women, children, and animals have died. And I do mean that, because horses and dogs did a great deal on the battlefields. And you can laugh, but so did pigeons. They saved a lot of lives. That's a
yeah. Well,
fact.
it was the
It's a fact.
messages,
Messenger
wasn't it?
pigeons.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
The
they
funky
all,
pigeon.
they all risked all their millions of lives for our freedom. Where's that gone? So are we all gonna just
Lay back.
lay
We
down
can't.
and be walked over?
No, I think, to be quite honest with you, regarding whatever politics you're under, whoever
It
you
doesn't
believe
matter.
in, no, because something shocked me to the core. And this is about the Clacton by-election, when all of the four, plus a couple of the outsiders, all clubbed together and said, we're not going to put a candidate against Farage. Now, whether you loathe the man or whether you like the man, it's not. That's not why I'm saying this. You suddenly realise that where you thought you had a choice for something different, for people who
Freedom.
were
Freedom. Yeah.
a party that was standing up for something that they believed in, their policies.
Well, it's meant to be for the people.
Absolutely, for us to decide. You suddenly realise that there isn't a fag paper between them, and that in actual fact they are all one big club. They are all the same. When you put your tick in the red box, the blue box, the green box, the yellow box, and any of some of those independents, they are just sticking together like, I have to say it, shit to a blanket. And they're
Yeah.
not going to, they are all the same. There is nothing at the moment that is standing out there and saying, other than, I have to say it, whether you want to or not, the Reform Party. What has happened to that? I mean, I was brought up believing. I mean, I've listened to all of them over the years.
Oh, yeah.
When it's
I
coming
find it
leading up, I'm
heartbreaking,
fascinating.
Foster.
I do. What has happened to our government? It's not.
Find it
They're not being.
heartbreaking because people
They're
are
not making the
suffering.
decisions. They're not making the
Families are
decisions, Yvonne.
Families are
Absolutely.
suffering. They're
Absolutely.
fighting for food on the table. They're relying on food banks
More and
while
more
these bees,
are making millions.
and
Making
that's
millions.
no reference
They're
to our
being
lovely
paid
wildlife bees.
£95,000 a year, and they are not making the decisions. Somebody, a
Well, they're
higher
puppets.
force above them, is making those decisions. It's become
They're
more and more
puppets to them. Yeah.
that action summed it all up for me. That was it. I've studied politics, always been interested, always kept my cards close to my chest, but I'm flabbergasted. I'm absolutely flabbergasted.
I gave up with them all on the podium. I will never forget their horrible pale faces. They must have been in a refrigerator and brought out to put on those podiums, and all there as though the world is nigh and it's all going to end and you've got to have this vaccine. And that vaccine has been proved to be poison. Absolutely 100%.
Absolutely.
It's killing people.
You know, if you have a vaccination against yellow fever, you're never going to catch yellow fever. You know, diphtheria, you have the vaccine for that, you're not going to get it. You have the vaccine for measles, you're not going to get it.
A lot of the elderly people I've spoken to have not had vaccines. They're in their 80s and 90s, and they never would. They never would.
No.
They wouldn't have any of it.
No.
And they're even doing their own gardening. They're
Absolutely.
still out there doing their gardening. No vaccines and no pills from the doctor.
Absolutely.
Because they use herbs and natural medicine.
Absolutely.
It's different if they need an operation. And I have every respect for surgeons and the consultants.
Yeah, the surgeons are worth their weight in gold. If you've got to that level, they really are worth their weight in gold. But I'm afraid everything else, I think everything needs to shake up.
I think
everything now. We need to look at this as a people. Yeah, we need to look at this.
To see sense, look back in time. Look back to the 1940s, 1950s. Look back to those times.
I'd even think, I'm sorry, I'm going to go way back in history.
And actually, that's when the doctor would come and visit and actually look after you.
I do remember that, having the doctor come into the house.
Yeah.
It was a completely
different world.
Because they really
did look after you then.
Yeah, a completely different world, without a doubt.
There's salesmen now. A salesman.
Well, salesmen for the pharmaceutical industry, aren't they?
Yeah. And that makes you sick. That sends you to the hospital, and it's like a conveyor belt. Yeah. It really is. 100%. Yeah. And on that, I have to say, treating in the hospital, as I did, in fact, I treated in 3 different ones. It was St. Peter's Hospital in Surrey, actually. I was asked that I had to take a package across, and I was given all these details about where to go and given a number to get through the door, code. And it was like going from one world into another, where I can still remember how I felt. I thought, what is going on here? Because I walked in and there was all this beautiful, luxurious red carpet, lovely lighting. All the rooms for the patients were like their bedrooms and only luxury. And I thought, hang about. I've just come from another world and it's just across this bridge. and I thought everybody should have this. And why? What is it? Why? And you see, that's where apothecaries come in, because that is exactly it. Everybody, no matter how much money you had, you were all treated the same, and that is going back to the 18th, 19th, 20th century. Say 18th,
17th.
19th, early 20th century.
And again, before that, Marshall, it
Yeah,
was
well, they were
actually,
curing people.
yeah, they were. I mean, we've always had the medicine men and women that were out in the country, you know, going back centuries. The
Yeah.
healers would all be picking
Actually, it is
herbs.
centuries, you're right,
It is
Foster, because the
centuries.
herbal, and what were they called? The herbal, you know, ladies. And what did the Vatican do? They burnt millions of them at the stake.
They were called witches.
Yeah, and they were burnt at the
Wise
stake,
women.
healing people with natural medicine.
Absolutely. And all they had was the knowledge of herbs, energy, etc. They were just
Yeah,
highly intuitive, and they were burnt at the
yeah.
stake for it.
And they weren't just burnt, they were tortured as well, barbarically. Yeah,
Yeah.
disgusting. So there we are, you know, Foster and I are always going to be questioning and asking why. And I would like to say a big thank you to everyone for supporting us. We really are incredibly appreciative and grateful. And I just hope that we have planted some seeds and made people think, and especially young people, please. Computers are great, but there's a life out there. Go and join, get some youth clubs going like we used to have. It's great fun. Actually being near someone is sound frequency vibration. We are all vibrating, and it's all science based. And just be in somebody's energy field, you know, and have fun and just get together. I mean, we had coffee bars and jukeboxes, didn't we, where we played the records. You put sixpence in the in the machine.
In the
In the
jukebox, and the
jukebox.
jukebox played.
Yeah. And it
Yeah,
was
it was
coffee
like that.
bars and yeah, ice cream and, you know,
It was
real orange
innocent.
squash actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it was innocent, but it was fantastic, really.
But it's really being part of people as well, isn't it? It's being
Forming a
in a,
community.
yeah, absolutely.
Forming a community.
Because there's a lot of depression in young people, badly so, because they're losing that connection with each other. And it's
Yeah,
very, very
that
important
it really is to have that
to keep that
interaction.
connection with you young people. Honestly, I used to have such fun. And you know it will strengthen you as you get older. All of you. It
Yeah,
really does, doesn't it, Foster? It stands
absolutely.
you in good stead and honestly, it's like your brain, it activates your brain. It's a scientific fact, you know, it really does. You're
You've got
all
to fire
activated.
off your motor neurons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Would you like to share a little childhood, thing? I remember the scrumping apples. Do you?
I do remember scrumping apples, and I remember having to scale a 6-foot wall to escape the owner of the orchard, which happened to be a group of Roman Catholic nuns. And I think I would have been lynched for nicking the apples. And it was the ones that were on the ground, but my goodness, they were very
They tasted
protective of them.
delicious.
They absolutely did, but I didn't. I asked me to scale a 6-foot wall now, and I'd be like, "Yeah, on your bike." But I did it, believe you, and I didn't drop a single apple. So yes, they
Oh,
were They were the good old days. I also
yeah.
remember making go-karts, and
Oh,
you'll know about go-karts.
I do because
Tell the
made a
people what you
go-kart and
did to your little sister.
I made a go-kart and it was out of apple boxes, but I
But they were
wanted a
wooden.
downstairs and an upstairs, like a double-decker bus. And of course, I thought, I know, my little sister can go in the top, which just happens to be Foster. And she remembers with
I
sheer
remember it
horror
well.
going down a hill with no brakes. And I must add, we didn't have the cars then. That's how far back we
Fortunately.
go. You know, there might be one or two, but where we went, but it was a big hill, and it really, really was halfway down, really realizing there were no brakes. Great fun. But, you know, there you go.
Yeah, they were the days.
They were the good old
Good.
days.
They certainly were, where you learnt how to survive. And we did learn an awful lot of survival techniques. I learnt my
did.
first forward roll as it crashed, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think it was. It was. It really was. Yeah,
Yes.
it really was.
Delightful fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And climbing trees
Yeah.
and playing conkers.
Playing conkers. The other thing that we used to do was we used to get a tray, you know, like the tray that you would take your food out on.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the metal trays, and we used to nick it from the kitchen and then go out to where we used to live. There used to be a big hill called St Anne's Hill, and you used to be able to go up this hill and literally sit on this tray and literally just slide at high speed down the hill on a tray. No brakes.
Is this on the grass or snow?
This is on the ground. Well, it was dirt. It would, because it was nice and dry, because it was in the summer. God, yeah. Yeah, it's still there, and you can. I still think we've carved our own tracks into the earth, and I'm fairly confident they'll still be there. And you know, the tree swings and all of that we had.
Do some videoing for everyone.
Yep, I remember going down there.
That's where the highwaymen along there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll be doing that in later podcasts when we discover Cryptid Britain and Most Haunted, our own version of real encounters that we've had, our own personal
absolutely the hairy hands.
The hairy hands, yes. Hairy hands, yeah. And highwaymen.
And
hairy hands.
Yeah.
And highwaymen.
And then there's that poem, isn't it? Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross. Now that really is out on the moors, isn't it? It's out on Bodmin anyway. Whether you've got one on Dartmoor.
I'm sure we have.
On Bodmin.
We've got plenty on Dartmoor. There's lots of folk stories. Yep.
We'll have to share some, and actually real ghost stories, the things that have happened to us.
Yeah.
Make your toes curl.
Absolutely, because in the 80s, I was part of a team, and we used to go round to Haunted House because I was very connected with the Spiritualist Church. And
that's long before anybody thought about it on TV.
Yeah, there were no cameras, but I tell you, some of the things that we encountered were, let's just say, challenging, to say the least.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's for the future.
Yeah. And I still think, Foster, that house at Halloween when you were out with your mates was actually a big cat behind the door, because they did still have big cats then. It was in the 1970s that they banned it. But this was before
a lot of them were let loose up here on the moor.
They were.
Sad. So sad.
Then we're going to talk about big cats and other big dogs and all sorts. The black dog.
Black dogs of Dartmoor. The hounds of the Baskerville.
It really is the hounds of Baskerville. It really, really is.
And actually, on that
note,
note,
be out on the moors,
Marshall,
and hear one of those.
There was another dog howling locally, and it wasn't mine, and it was a deep, guttural howl. And
Are you serious, Foster?
I am absolutely serious. This was last night.
I told you, didn't I? I told you.
Absolutely. And
I told
I
you.
was
You
there and I
see,
was like, that's another. And of course, my hairy hound. And
oh,
I thought, now all
is
I
he
need
there?
is
Is Odin there for people to see?
that it's flat out. It's
Or
barked
he's
itself
asleep?
silent. It's
Well,
barked
one day
itself.
you'll meet Odin. Yeah, you'll see Odin.
But it was
Um,
it was a very deep.
did it make you think, oh,
It did, because I was waiting for Odin to join in, and he was literally, and I thought he's going to join in, and I thought we're in trouble. In one way or another, either there's going to be an earthquake, and
yeah,
they're trying to warn us that there's some catastrophe, or we've got company.
you
I
had
think it was the
company, all right.
latter. I think
I've
so.
told, yeah, Odin knows. Dogs are very knowing. They know.
Yeah.
I told
I
you
must
my
admit, I
dogs
was
wouldn't even
shocked.
go out. They wouldn't even go out the door. They were so scared. Now that's unusual. That, in
No,
fact, it's unheard of.
absolutely.
Anyway, so yeah, that's that. So there's a lot coming up that we're going to be doing.
Absolutely.
And we did visit a lovely little church, didn't we, Anne?
Yes, we did, Marshall.
It it was absolutely. It's a Templar church, and it was lovely. Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was beautiful,
So
very moving.
yeah, it was, and the Templars are rising, and we need them desperately. Yeah, we really do. So
On
I
that
think,
note, I think it's time to say like and subscribe. Give us your comments. Tell us what you think. Are we doing a good job, or do we need improvement? Whatever
well, I'm
you
sure
feel
we
you
need
want to say.
improvement. We need something anyway. I
I
know
do
that.
think. Well,
But I mean, we're
like the
trying our
cashier.
best. You can tell by my hair.
I know. I can
Um,
tell that you've bouffanted yourself out for the whole event. But it's like this poor cashier, like when you just do something, and I was, again, fighting along with the conveyor belt in the local
oh,
supermarket, and she said,
yeah.
"Would you like any help?" And I just looked at her and I said, "Actually, I'm beyond help. Let's just carry
I
on."
love that. I love that.
And she started laughing. We're both having a
Well,
chuckle.
that's good. That's what we need,
Absolutely. It
more
was fun.
laughter.
It was done in fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, on
Oh,
that note, like and
yeah.
subscribe. And we look forward to our next podcast, where
Yeah.
we question everything and want to know
And
the
ask
answers
why.
why.
Yeah.
So, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay sane.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.